Jen, are you still seeing my screen?
Yep, you're still good.
Okay.
Hey, Carrie, do you want to just advance the slide real quick and just make sure? Perfect.
All right, good. Well, Karen, I have 3 o'clock if you want to get started.
Okay, well, I can do that. Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Robinson, and I'm the Events and Program Administrator for NIGP. I am the one who you will deal directly with in requesting the courses and reaching out to your members, hopefully, to see if they'd like to attend. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule today. I know we have some new people and some veterans here, but I do want to welcome everybody back and welcome the new people. And thank you for volunteering your time to provide education for your chapter members. So unlike many credentialing programs that focus on a narrow set of recognition opportunities, NIGP's program is comprehensive, designed to provide recognition for those reaching key learning milestones as they engage in their professional development. Our program is open to all. And today we're going to cover the introduction of the NIGP staff, the new NIGP website, understanding pathways, which, like I said, is our new content, and how to host a course and why. And also we'll be providing you with resources to do that. So let's start by introducing the NIGP staff. So you have myself, the Events and Program Administrator, Marlena Lutzen, who is our Events and Program Assistant. You will be receiving emails from Marlena after you have scheduled courses. So she also is a very good resource for you if I'm not available. Jennifer Steffen, whom I think you all know, who's the Chapter Relations Manager. Carrie Ron, who's the Director of Events and Program Delivery. And Todd Slater, who's our Chief Content Officer. So let's talk a little bit about the new NIGP website. Just so you know, there is a section that is devoted to chapters. So the new site includes a designated chapter section, which includes many resources for the chapter leaders. So today we're going to focus primarily on the Host a Course and Marketing Toolkit. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Todd Slater, our Chief Content Officer, who will be talking a bit about NIGP's competency-based learning and credentialing program pathways. And then we'll get into more details about how to request courses to be offered to your membership.
Thanks, Karen. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. And Carrie, are you advancing the slide deck?
I am.
All right. We'll get in sync here. So yeah, thanks for having me today. I'm actually coming to you from literally the Great White North. I traveled up to Michigan, and we now have a foot of snow outside. So trying to get back home has been a challenge, but glad to be here with you today. I just want to spend some time going back through and talking with you in regards to pathways. As Karen mentioned earlier, that's our new educational program. We've been rolling it out now for a little over a year. We really have just finished up all of our 33 competencies from mostly a foundational perspective, and now we're turning our attention to building advanced courses now. So we're excited to bring this to you. We've had really good reception, positive feedback on the courses over the past year. So they're all in place, and Pathways is, again, we believe, different than many others. It's focused on competency-based learning. And what competency-based learning allows us to do is really provide a learning environment that focuses on not only building, knowledge, which is kind of critical in the foundation, but it also helps build, key skills, which ultimately lead to performance, right? So, that's our goal, is how do we increase performance of individuals and help you grow in your career? And so what you see here is, some of the key things in regards to what is Pathways. It's integrated, right? So we have not only the courses, but as you achieve milestones and assessments, you're able to obtain immediate recognition through electronic badges to show achievement. But it's also very accessible and flexible. That's been our key design effort as we've gone. Trying to remove as many barriers as possible in regards to price and the amount of time it takes to do these courses. They're much smaller in a lot of cases. You can take individual modules. You can take all the way up to 3-day courses. So it allows, from a chapter perspective, you to really, listen to your membership and understand what they need and target very specific courses. So it allows that customized learning. If we look, Carrie, on the next slide, it really starts to talks about the specifics of Pathways and what we believe it can do. We believe it helps build a stronger workforce. As I mentioned, we think competencies can build a much stronger workforce. Capable leaders, we're now expanding into a lot more of the leadership development side of the house. We have a certificate in leadership development, along with, I think it's about 5 individual competencies that you can take. We also have Leaders Edge. So we're really focused on how do we build tomorrow's leaders. And then overall, through, again, the training, we think we can elevate the procurement profession overall. These are other ways here that, we're accelerating performance. Again, you can now personalize the learning. So if your chapter really has a certain need, you can really pull different competencies together, and you could work with Karen or myself to help design a learning path specific for your members, because we can now pull together 33 competencies to fit your needs. They're flexible. Again, I know, most of the time you're looking at the in-person learning. It's also available on demand if your members are looking for a specific course. But, as soon as we get back to in-person learning, you have a lot of flexibility there, anywhere from half a days to 1 days to now 2 and 3 day courses that you can choose from. We hope to get back to in-person learning as soon as, we get the clearance and a little bit more, Carrie, a little bit further along. We think we'll be able to do the in-person learning, but right now you have access to a whole host of the courses now available through the virtual component. So Pathways is made up of 4 key components. I want to just kind of talk to you about each one just so you can get a feel for it, especially for those that are new and may not be familiar with it. You have the framework, which is the foundation, the competencies. We'll look at certificates. We have more advanced content, which is our specializations. And then finally, the new CPP certification. So if we look at the foundation on which Pathways is built, it's really on this competency framework that you see here. It's focused on the 7 key areas that, through our research that was conducted, are the 7 key competency areas that procurement professionals need to, be skilled in. And if you take a look underneath these 7, is this where you see kind of the power come, and you can see the actual 33 competencies. And Carrie, that's on the next slide. Yeah, right here. I know it can be kind of small to see. I think you guys all have a copy of it, but these are the 33 individual competencies. And this is where the flexibility comes in. Because you don't necessarily, if you don't need a full 3-day course or a 2-day course, if the individual competency modules are what is needed, you can now focus in on those. So again, that's what we're saying kind of saves time and budget dollars, because you're not having to take long, large courses if that doesn't fit the needs of your members. So you can see, you can take just mission and public benefit or transformation and vision creation. All those are individual. You can also work with us if there are a series of competencies that you want to merge together. We can work with you on bringing those together for you. So a lot more flexibility from a learning perspective. Now you can start here adding things together. You can take training all the way down from the individual competencies that you just saw. Every time you offer those, there are assessments if people are interested. You don't have to take the assessment, but the assessment triggers the badges and shows that you achieved that competency. So you can, individual badges are awarded from those. You can combine those certificates, and what we've done is we've combined them into, I think right now there's 5 certificates that are available. And those are groupings of competencies that are brought together into a specific class. So in this case, this is showing you warehousing, but there's a number of other certificates that are available to you. Those are usually 2 to 3 day courses. And then finally is the designation. This is the procurement associate designation. And this comes automatically when a person achieves 3 core certificates. And I think I showed that a little bit later. So now from a specialization, I think this has been a really popular area for us. We have 2 specializations currently, one on construction and one on technology procurement. They're both 3-day courses. But what these specializations do, they really target a topic that is needed in the procurement space today. Those were the 2 that we recognized as a big need. We've had, I think over 200 people take the technology course, and the construction one was just released a little bit earlier this year and is having a really good reception as well. But these are more advanced courses. They really dive deep into a topic. They're not connected to the competencies in that you don't need to have certain competencies in order to take the courses. However, it's important when you schedule them is that they are more advanced. So for example, if we're looking at technology in regards to RFPs, we're not teaching you how to do RFPs. The expectation is that you have that base knowledge. We'll talk about RFPs in regards to technology procurement, but won't bring it all the way down to the beginning level. So these are, again, much more advanced courses. We look to build at least 1 or 2 of these a year. I think I saw Laura on earlier. I think we're looking at another technology course to be built this year, and there's an interest in construction as well. So you'll see more and more of these being available to your members. And then finally is the certification, the CPP certification. I think you probably are all aware of this. It's been out now for, about 8 months or so. We're having, we have a lot of people getting certified in this. If you look on the next screen, it just talks about some of the value of certification. And again, it's a way to continue to advance your knowledge and skills, distinguish yourself from in the job market. Again, just another way to expand career opportunities. And you can see some of the statistics on how people are valuing certification overall. Now, from the CPP perspective, it's very targeted to mid and executive level leader. So it's not for somebody new into the profession. There's a number of criteria that need to be met in order to sit for the exam. But it is really focused on that mid to executive level leader. And it is aligned to our procurement competencies. So those 7 focus areas, those 33 competencies, the assessment, the exam really aligns to those competencies. So that it's really more focused on how you actually perform and how you can actually apply what you know versus a strict knowledge type test. I think, yeah, so here's just, again, with all of our information, it's on the new website, which has a lot of information on it. If you go under the learning tab in the very top, I know it's kind of small, but you'll see all of the pathways information. There's actually a certification tab as well, which you can dive into even deeper information in regards to certification and any of the certificates as well. And I'm more than happy, if you want to talk more and deeper into any of these courses. I know Karen's well versed and is available to help, and I'm happy to have conversations, on how we can best design some learning for your chapter. And this last slide just kind of talks about the different recognition pieces. Recognition is really important to people today. They spend time and limited budgets on their education, so they want to make sure that they're recognized for their achievements. So as you go along in the different levels, you can see all the way from the individual competencies kind of in the green all the way up to the CPP certification. You're awarded different badges as you go along. And again, these are digital representations of, maybe you're familiar with past certificates that would come printed. Now you'll also get printed certificates as well. But the digital badges are nice because they stay with you as you move throughout your career. A lot of people put them on LinkedIn. What's nice now is when I'm following a number of members on LinkedIn and just the community as a whole, and you really start to see the badges being shown in recognition as people achieve them. And that's really kind of helps build the community. But it also, from a manager and an employer perspective, they're able to look at your digital badge. They're able to open it and see what kind of criteria was required in order to achieve that badge. So, that you had to pass an assessment and score 80% and above. They won't know your exact score. It just says that you had to score 80% and above. And then they'll list the different competencies that were needed to be assessed on in order to achieve that badge. So it has a lot of good data that people can use during the career professional development process. And I think Carrie and Karen, I think that's it. I think it's back to you guys talking about the hosting of the courses. Do you want to take any questions that there may be, or do you want to keep going and just doing that at the end?
I actually should do questions now if anybody has while you're here. We were talking about that. I don't know, Todd, if you can see the chat, but someone did ask.
Yep.
If someone were to take the individual modules that make up a course certificate, will the course certificate be issued as a result of the individual modules?
Yep, thanks, Jen. I do see Lisa mention that. And yeah, that is really, again, I think the power of the flexibility of the program is because depending on what you want to, what your career path is, you may not have the time, or really it's not appropriate at this point to take a 2 or 3 day course. You can just take those individual modules, and then once you achieve the competencies that are under a certificate, the badge would be awarded. Now we are, just so you guys are aware, we're having a little, from our technical perspective, it's supposed to be happening automatically. We're having to do a little bit of that behind the scenes, but yes, the whole idea behind it is you can take those individually, and then when all 4 become done, you automatically achieve the certificate. There's no additional test. The tests are assigned to the individual competency. And you can mix them up. You could take one of the modules in an on-demand fashion. Maybe there's one that you just want to take self-paced. But then maybe the chapter is offering some additional in-person or virtual competencies, and you can take them that way. So it doesn't have to be all one type. So it's really a mix and match opportunity. So hopefully, Lisa, that answers it. Yep, sure.
Does anybody else have a question? Either you can, for Todd on this content, you can type it in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask. Todd, you're going to be here till the end, correct though?
Yep, I'm here to the end. And, we have seen a lot of people interested in the half day. We're seeing a lot of people scheduling half days. So I'd be curious, those seem to be of interest to many. So hopefully those are fitting into your schedules.
Todd, there's another one that just popped up that their chapter has requested that they schedule the intro to procurement. What is the class that's been replaced with?
Yeah. And so we don't have, the intro really has now become much more expanded. We have actually moved it into, really the topics covered into the designation, which is 11 competencies. So it's much bigger. If you were looking at, just trying to look here, more of an intro, it's really going to be along, just trying to pull it up so I can see it. And Laura, I don't know if you're on, but it's more around the strategy and policy and legislation. I think what we'd want to do is talk with you to really see, are there certain competencies that we want to put together in regards to an introduction type course like mission and public benefit and things like that. I think we'll want to kind of customize it for you. We also do, it's not really a class though for you. I was going to say a jumpstart class, but Laura, are you on by any chance? I think I saw you earlier.
Yes, and I apologize. This may echo a little bit, but so from an intro perspective, the old intro course was very much like just skimming the surface on intro to procurement. So when we went through our rebuild of pathways and went through our design philosophy and really identified the need for practitioners to be able to execute, that course in its structure as it was did not necessarily meet the needs for our members that we've heard. A lot of people said, great class, but I don't know what to do now that I've taken it. So what we've done is through Pathways, you have the mission and public benefit module, which really gives you the place of public procurement within the entity. So that is, why you exist, the role, kind of just the introduction to public procurement as a practice. And so from there, like Todd mentioned, you then can dive deeper into more of a strategy, into more of planning, legal, ethics. And so that structure has, based on feedback we've been hearing too, has definitely better met the needs and is allowing people to, instead of take the whole pie, right, eat the whole pizza at once, they're able to just take a slice and really digest and marinate within that information before they move on to the next concept. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. I appreciate that. I think to her point, we were finding, the intro can be a lot of material at once, and it may not be applicable to, your audience. And so, be great to sit down and kind of talk through, go with mission as one, but also add some of the others individual competencies that may be more targeted to your needs. So it's, again, our whole goal is to try to give you the exact training that you're wanting, to build those skills and not try to bury you in extra course content, if that makes sense. But
Todd,
we have
Laura,
done. Yep, go ahead, Terry.
this is Terry. Just was gonna add a little bit to that question that I posed in regards to who to contact. So in speaking with the chapter and them wanting to have that old intro class trained, and now that having gone away and been replaced. So will I reach back out to you, Todd, directly after checking back in with the chapter on what it is they actually want to accomplish and be trained on, as far as what additional add-ons we can do besides the mission to public benefits course?
Yeah, and I think, Terry, the first point of contact is going to be Karen. I mean, again, Karen and I work closely, so Karen, chime in, but we would work with you. I think one of the other things, and someone asked it earlier about the survey, and Karen can talk a little bit more about it, but we redid the survey, one, to really target, the new content that's available, but to also ask some additional questions that really help us take a look at the learning needs that are being asked by your membership, so that, again, that we can really we really want to try to set a longer term vision for the training that you're offering. How do we look more towards the future, and what does your membership want to grow to? What are they, are they all trying to get the CPP or a designation, so that we can really plan out a little bit more? And I think, Terry, that survey, if you haven't done it, that may be a great place to start. And then, Karen and I, we can have conversations after, again, to make sure that we're really delivering the exact competencies that you're in specific, what your members are looking for. Does that help? Does that make sense?
It does.
That survey may be.
All right, thank you.
I would take a look at that survey. Yep. And Karen, we can do the survey, send that out, or you can send it out. We can work with you on how that is distributed.
Yeah, so I can send it out for you if you just give me a list of your membership's emails. Some people also have asked just for the questions that are on the survey, and they design their own survey and send it out. So either way, I have both available. You just need to send the request to NIGP, events@nigp.org, and we can get that out for you. Just in case I'm not in the office or something, somebody will have that information.
Yeah.
It also goes back to John Flynn. You asked about the survey, and Karen just talked about that and brings it up again, that we can't offer that survey to your membership.
Yep.
Todd, did you see the question from Tammy about the core courses as it relates to the B and O exam?
Let me look down a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to have to look up the CPP exam.
Todd, I can jump in
those.
here.
Okay, thanks.
So if you're speaking about the changes that the UPPCC has recently pushed out after their job survey, we are going to have the content updated for those prep courses by summer in time for the fall testing windows. So we will be updating our content to match, what the UPPCC has released, and we will, we still have those as an offering.
Thanks, Laura. Let me look up, or Laura, if you have them handy, the CPP, the dates coming up, and I don't have the actual recertification numbers that are required, since we're just actually putting people through the CPP. Laura, they're asking for the deadline for taking the CPP exam window.
So that would probably be the best question for Diane.
Yeah. Laura and I have to, there's we'll say a firewall between us and the CPP exam. We have to stay apart within the organization, so that since we handle the content. So I just need to, I'm not as versed. I'll have to just look up the exam windows and information for you. It's all on the website. Maybe I can look at that while you guys are talking about your next topics.
Todd, I was going to pull those questions as well and get that information to those individuals. So I'm going to capture all that afterwards too.
Great,
Jennifer?
thanks.
Yes,
Jennifer, this is Fran in Tallahassee. How are you?
good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank y'all for offering this. This is perfect timing for us. You know, like most chapters, you have everyone that just started purchasing to people that have been in it for 45 years. So our challenge is not unique in trying to offer classes, but we are looking at trying to get some training tracks going. And I would like to meet with y'all offline, you know, set up a time that we can start doing, and even, you know, for the next 12 months, next 15, 16 months, or whatever we can, go ahead and show an offering. Is that possible?
Yeah, Fran, this is Todd. I mean, that would be ideal. I mean, that's the type of conversations we really want to grow and have as you're looking out to the, you know, year plus. How to, you know, especially because you said, you know, you have a mixed audience, right? Anywhere from beginners to, you know, those that are been in the profession, which to me sounds like, you know, the specialization type areas are really would be ideal. Also, right, Laura, the new advanced courses, and that's why we're kind of heads down trying to build the advanced content. I think you'll find those available, but how do we really create that mix so that you have, you know, a well-balanced offering for, you know, your newer staff, newer members, as well as those that have been around. So we welcome that conversation. That's really what we want to grow
Well,
towards.
definitely, I will get back with y'all on this. And one other thing too, I do work with the city of Tallahassee. So being a municipality and not a state agency or entity, our state training office, they will not train us when it comes to like Florida certifications or PMPs or, you know, even negotiations. And at one time, we all had our certified negotiator status, but no longer do because of the reason I just mentioned. You know, moving ahead, the city would like to take advantage of all of our knowledge and go ahead and start offering that. So it's going to be a big push to retrain all of us as the agents in our department, but also push out to some other negotiation training to, you know, specific people within the departments. So I'm very interested in that as well. You know, they might not be looking for certifications, but they might be looking for certificates.
Sure. Yeah, right. And that's why, again, I think you have that option, right? The certificates have been really popular. We're also, just so you know, we are having more and more conversations with the states. Some states have aligned our courses, maybe in the past too, but are aligning them now so that they count for, you know, against their state requirements. We're working with Texas and a number of other states as well. So if that's of interest in your states, and, you know, we're happy to have conversations to help align content as well. So yeah, Fran, just anytime. Once I dig out from Michigan and get home to Virginia, yeah, I'm happy to have those conversations.
Totally understand. My daughter lives in Minnesota, so yeah, I can understand. Okay.
Yeah, she probably beats me. Yeah.
Well, I will send up a follow-up email, and then we will definitely get together and work on this ASAP, because we've had a rough start. You know, everybody's shorthanded right now, and I mean, everybody's in the same boat, but we definitely want to go ahead and target, you know, for the next year and a half. One, our team will know, our members will know exactly what's coming down the pipeline in May of 2022. You know? Exactly. Okay, good deal.
Fran, I think that's important too, Fran, that you bring out, and we're trying to do that too. That's why you're seeing we're trying to calendar out. I think it's important for people, you know, from a professional development to see what's coming so they can plan ahead. So that's great to hear. So anything we can do for all of you, I'm happy to help. I am curious, are you guys starting to think in person? Is that on your radar? I know we're getting some people.
Not anytime soon. You know,
Any-
We're still mixed as to, even like us within our offices, we rotate 1 week a month. You know, we try to just have 25% capacity in the office, and the rest of the time is remote.
Sure.
I have not even heard, you know, if anything, until a lot of the vaccines get out and all of that, it's probably going to be, I'd say May before we even start consider going back, maybe at 50% or something like that. So it's going to be a while before we meet remotely again. Excuse me, in person again.
Yeah, if you are thinking, if you do have it, and I think that is the trend, right? If you are thinking that you are going to come back, I see some people kind of not coming back anytime soon. But if you are thinking of it, if you could put it in the chat, I would just be interested to know. But I think, Jen, I can turn it over back to you guys.
Yeah, and I'll capture all these questions. So if we see anything that
Okay.
we haven't been able to get to, I'll make sure that we get those answers back to those individuals. So Karen, if you want to go ahead and continue with the second portion.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about hosting NIGP courses and what that means. So as you can see, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So the first thing you need to make sure you have is a current contract with us. So what'll happen, the current contracts expire June 30th. We will send out probably in May a new contract for you to fill out and send back. And once we get those back, your chapter can start scheduling classes again. So part of what I can help with the survey is that it helps plan your calendar. So if you send out the survey, you know what people are interested in, what they're looking to see, what they need help with, then you can look at the course offerings and you can spread them out over the calendar year so that, you know, people will know ahead of time what's coming, and it helps you sell the seats. You know, if you have it out there, if you build it, they will come. So if you have it out there in enough time, then people can arrange to attend the classes. So once you have the seminar agreement, we're going to plan your calendar. Again, I can help you with the survey, or I can send you the questions. Either way, I'm happy to do it. And I'll send you the results. And then after that, you'll request the classes. So you'll request a class, and what you'll do is you'll go on to the request a course and fill out the form. Please note that in this form, you have the chance to request up to 6 classes. Some people feel like they only can do 1 class and then they fill out another form and another form. But if you keep hitting yes, you can fill out 6 classes. And so once you've had a chance to fill out the classes and you get them scheduled, you'll want to promote this to your membership. And to do that, NIGP has a toolkit that you can also use to help promote that. So the first thing you do, how do you choose? Well, you visit the host a course page on NIGP website, and that's going to give you a drop down, and it'll have the classes in there that'll ask you what you want to request. So the courses are half a day up to 3 full days. And please note that the half-day courses are available virtually. You can request just 1, but if you're going to have an in-person training, you have to request 2 classes to make a full day. We can't send the instructor out for just a half a day. Now, it's important to note that you'll have the ability to earn money just by scheduling the courses, because in the virtual setting, you're not limited to only chapter members, as you have the ability to gain participants from all over, which can greatly increase your earning potential. We had a chapter who had 20 attendees and not one of them was from their state, but their chapter made $1,500 just on that 1 course. So even if you don't think you have enough in your membership, it's still a good idea to host the course, put it out there, let people see it and let people sign up for it, because that's where you're going to earn your money. That's the benefit, if there is a benefit to having the courses virtual now. So like I said, the half-day courses may be offered independently for virtual, but if in person, you have to have a full day. So the courses may have different minimums. than our co-sponsored courses, meaning that co-sponsored courses are owned by third-party contractors, and they really dictate how many people they want to have in the course in order for us to hold the course. So there's different pricing and different minimums for each course. There's 3-day courses have a different price, 2-day courses, 1-day courses, and co-sponsored courses have a different price and a different minimum.
Can you explain, I'm sorry, this is Terry with a quick question. The co-sponsored, what that means?
So
It's a-
co-sponsored courses they're owned by third-party contractors, meaning it's their content and they're allowing us to schedule it and teach it to the different chapters. So because they own the content, they dictate how many people they need to be in the class. And if you request a co-sponsored course, I need to reach out to them and make sure that they're available on the date that you're requesting.
Okay, thank you.
The foundation courses in which we own the content and we send it out to multiple instructors and assign courses based on who's available for the courses.
Hey, Karen.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Hey,
Hi,
Tammy.
Karen. This is Tammy. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So I have a question. When I went to request a course, I noticed that some of the courses were not available. So you know how you choose from either 1, 2, 3, or half day. Some of them were not available.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit that later in the
Okay.
presentation. But you're right. And so I think you did it the right way. I think you put it in the notes section. And so we're going to talk about that in the next couple of slides. But that's a good point, Tammy. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Carrie, are you there? Can we go to the next slide? Okay. So on the website, under host an NIGP course, it says schedule a course today. So you can just click on that button and you can schedule, you can begin to schedule your course. So once you've made your course selections, it's time to complete the request form. So keep in mind that some courses are still in development, but may show in the course catalog. These will not appear in the drop-down menu for selection on the request form. To request the course that's not included in the drop-down, indicate the title and requested date in the notes section. And please, when you're filling out this course request, the very first thing it asks you for is location. And so yes, it's virtual, so there's no physical location. However, we have to have a physical location in order to put it in our database and link it to the website. So in in-person classes, of course, you put location so people know where to go. But for virtual classes, it's just as important because it shows a time zone. So people can, in your time zone, it may not be in your chapter, but they can look at that and say, oh, I'd like to take that class. It's in my time zone. I'll sign up for it. So it's important to know that without that, it makes it difficult to find your courses on the website. So once your form has been received, then I send out a call for instructors. Once I hear back from the instructors, I assign an instructor to your class, and then we build the course in the event for posting online. The registration for courses is handled by NIGP through the website, or if necessary, with the form that's included on each course registration page. So they can fill out a form and send it in, or they can just register right from the website. Once the course is scheduled as well, you will get a notification letting you know that the course has been scheduled. And if it's in person, you'll be given a link. Regardless, you'll be given a link that you can put on your website that directs people to go directly to that registration web page. So for ease in registering, they can just go right there. They don't have to go through our website to find it. You'll be given a link. You'll put it on your website when you're promoting the class, and they can go right there and register. It's pretty simple. So once the course has been posted online, the coordinator in your chapter and the instructor will get an email. And this is a good time for you both to switch telephone numbers or email addresses or anything that you think you need to do in order to make contact with the instructor for your course in case something should come up. We do encourage you guys to do that just in case of an emergency. So with regard to marketing, you're going to check out the marketing toolkit online for ideas on how to best promote your course. We do assist with marketing somewhat. We send weekly messages out to promote all courses within a time zone to help attract attendees outside of the geographic area. So we work with all the classes, but especially if a class is struggling to get attendees, we send out marketing to try to bolster that.
Another quick question, Karen. If your chapter wants to request a specific trainer, would that just be added into the notes section to see if it can be accommodated?
Actually, there's a field that says instructor. You can add the name there. You can fill it in there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so when you're filling it out, it asks you the name of the class. You'll from the drop, if it's a 1 day, 2 day, half day, you'll fill that out. And then note that if you select a 3-day class, you're only going to get in the drop down the selection for 3-day classes. So you don't have to try to find the 3-day class. So if you ask for a 3-day class, you'll get it in the drop down, you'll select it, it'll ask you for the date, and then it says instructor optional. So you can put the instructor name there if there's somebody that you want. And then I will work with them to see if they're available on the date that you're requesting. I think there's a little bit of confusion. Sometimes I'll get emails and people will say, we want to have this course on this day.
Right. Right, hold on, let me mute this a little bit.
So sometimes we'll get requests and they'll say, hi, I want to have a class, I want to have a class on this. Can you see when your instructors are available? Well, that's not really how it works because we have 50 instructors. So you have to put it, I can't really answer that question. You have to fill out the request form. You have to fill in a date. And then I send that out to the instructors. And then the instructors who are available to teach that day in that course, they will get back to me and they will throw their name in the hat. So I just want to, make that, clear, because I know a lot of people think it's the other way around, but it's really what you want. When do you want the course? I'll find you somebody. I will have no trouble finding you an instructor. Like I said, we have 50 instructors on board to teach. And so that's not an issue at all. Well, here are a few examples of promotional material to assist with your marketing efforts. Thank you, Carrie Ron, for putting that together. Okay, so course delivery is still being done through Zoom. We do have some chapters in Ohio. We have a chapter in Ohio, and I think there's one in Florida that have requested in-person classes. We have set them up as in-person classes at this point. However, we are still abiding by all the rules for COVID. And as the courses come in our purview, we are making decisions on whether they will still be in person or transition to virtual delivery. And I can tell you at this time, all the courses that were previously requested through March have been transitioned to a virtual delivery. So we will do these in-person course requests, on a case-by-case basis. And like I said, it really depends on your state and what's happening, but we have a collective responsibility to ensure the safety of our attendees. So certain requirements will have to be met in order to meet in person. As well, we're trying to protect our instructors who would have to travel. So requirements will be based on guidelines provided by federal and local agencies. So if you're interested in doing something in person, please contact us first so we can talk about it and see if it's even an option. So the final delivery and confirmation. So like I said before, there are course minimums. For virtual courses, we have a lot of flexibility. It used to be in person, we would have to know 30 days out, we would have to have hit our course minimum because we would have to tell the instructor to secure travel at the best possible pricing and make sure that they can get the hotels and flights that they need. But with virtual, we don't have to do that. So that means that we can go longer. We don't have to make a decision on confirming a class. It gives you more time to get people in the class, more time to send out email blasts if there's an issue. And so 5 to 7 days out, usually about 7 days out, I will confirm a course if it has the minimums. So for virtual courses, for foundation courses, or i.e. NIGP courses, you have to have 5 registrants. If you're in person, you have to have 6 registrants, and currently co-sponsored courses must have 15. However, there is an asterisk to that. Because they don't have to travel and pay expenses, if you have 10, a lot of times they'll confirm the class and you don't have to have 15. I have a class going on the 26th of February. It currently has 6, and the instructor has agreed to do it for 6 people. So hardline for in-person classes is 15 for co-sponsored, but for virtual classes, it's not a set in stone. So another thing that I do to help the chapters along is I look every day, I pull up your course that was requested and I see how many people are registered. If you got 3 weeks left and you got 1 person, I'll send you an email and I'll say, hey, you have 1 person registered, can you send out another blast? So I'm constantly reviewing all the courses and making sure that you can be successfyou. And so I'm constantly sending emails and reminders, as well as we're sending out marketing on them. And you can know that even though there's a 5 registrant minimum for virtual classes, if you have 4 and your chapter is willing to forego the rebate, we can still have the class. And this is important because you have members that need this class. Maybe they need contact hours or CEUs, and you can still provide that to them, even though there were 4 people in the class. So not all is lost. If you haven't met your minimum, if you've only got 4 people, we can still work with you on that. And like I said, I'm still sending out emails daily to people to let them know, to remind them, hey, you don't have enough to host a class. Can you send out more emails on this? And it does work. Trust me, it works a lot. So once I confirm the class, then I send an email out to the instructor, letting them know, and also to the coordinator from the chapter, letting them know that the class is a go. And again, in-person courses are confirmed 30 days prior due to travel constraints.
Karen, can we go back to that slide real quick?
Yeah.
We did get a question. Someone asked that you stated that in-person classes must have 6 registrants, but the PowerPoint has 8
Oh,
listed.
you know what? It used to be 6, now it's 8.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, confirm that for everybody.
Yeah, no, the in-person has to have 8 registrants. So the benefits of offering courses to your membership. So offering courses through your chapter provides an opportunity for your members to collaborate, learn, and engage. Members can gain valuable skills and knowledge while also earning contact hours and CEUs for certification or recertification. Our courses provide instant recognition by issuing badges that can be displayed to show areas of expertise. And maybe best of all is offering courses can be a revenue stream for your chapter. We pay 10% of the total gross revenue collected for each course. That's before we pay instructors or for anything else. We pay you 10% of gross revenue. And like I said, we've had chapters host courses, not 1 person from their chapter registered, but they had 20 people from around the globe. And they made $1,500 just by sending the request form into me. Because when that request form comes into me, yes, you're going to put it on your website, but the people that registered didn't get that link from the chapter website. They got it from us. So when they went on to NIGP website and they looked for courses, they saw it, they said, hey, I want to take that class, and they registered for it. So even if you don't think you have enough in your membership to make the minimums, virtual can solve that issue for you. So I encourage you, if you want to make money for your chapter, to go ahead and send in a request form and request courses. It won't hurt. All it can do is make you tons of money. So one of the things I also want to tell you, the testimonies from the chapters that we've worked with. One of them is South Carolina Association for Governmental Purchasing Officials. They average about 10 courses per year. However, 2021, they've got 16 courses scheduled. So this is huge for them. You know what they said? They said, look, we're going to go out there and we're going to host courses because this is virtual and we can get money from everywhere. And you can see, you can read the testimonial for yourself, but they're doing very well. And this can be you too. So this last page are some resources for you. You can click on them, and again, it shows you how to host a course. There's also a seminar checklist, and that seminar checklist, I'm just going to tell you, that's basically for in-person courses. It helps you stay on track. In-person courses need to be requested at least 60 days in advance so that we can get them scheduled, get an instructor, get them scheduled. So the seminar checklist is really good for you to make sure that you checked all the boxes. The chapter planning timeline as well. It gives you, a timeline that you can follow. So you don't have to think about it. You can just look at it, just make a copy, put it on your form and start checking off as you've done things. The marketing toolkit is beneficial for you because it'll help you market the course to your chapter. And the course catalog, if you click on the course catalog, you'll see what's currently available to request, and it's broken down by 3-day, 2-day, 1-day, and half-day. So I encourage you to experiment a little bit and click on these links when you get a chance and see what they all mean. I know in the beginning we pointed out that we had a new website. And if you haven't had the opportunity to check out our new website, we encourage you to visit it at www.nigp.org and take a look around. Members have access to a variety of benefits, including the resource library, dictionary of terms, research and publications, and several online communities. So practice, 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 go in, how to request a course, get familiar with it. It's really, really easy once you do it.
Hi, Karen, it's Terry Robinson again. One last question. I noticed, and I think it's called I'm trying to remember the name of the form. It's where you go in after you've actually sent in the registration form, and then you fill out all the details of the location where you will be hosting the class. Right now, it's set up as if though it's a live in-person training where it's even asking how the tables would be set up per se in the room, that type of thing. So is it fair to assume that you just ignore all those questions if it's just a virtual course and you just simply put in virtual, or once you indicate that it's a virtual class, all those things get ignored automatically or go away? Or is there a separate form for virtual classes?
No, so that's a good point, Terry. Thank you. When you click on the request a course and ask you for a location, the first line is going to be virtual. And then after that, you're going to fill it in with the actual physical location. Unfortunately, when you get to those questions in the back that talk about that you have to answer that really pertain to in-person classes, there's really no way around it. You can just click them. We don't really look at them right now for virtual. But to redo this entire form during COVID, which was supposed to just be temporary, wasn't something that we could do. We couldn't switch the whole form over to virtual. Who knew, right? We thought we'd be out a month, 2 months or whatever. So the workaround is that you just put virtual in the first line for the location and then put the physical location. And when you get to the end, just you can click no all the way down or whatever you have to do. Just click it through, and we don't really look at that for virtual.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
else have any other questions that they want to unmute themselves and ask? I know I got asked a lot of times about the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint was attached to the email invite this morning, but it will also get posted in a few days to the chapter online resource library under webinars. It'll be the PowerPoint and the recording. Someone also is asking a question about disaster recovery and if we have any plans to do anything on that. Todd or Laura can speak to that.
Yep, it's Todd. I mean, right now we don't. I think we were looking at that for a specialization.
This is Teresa. Are you, Todd, are you thinking about the business continuity class? Because that does touch on emergency preparation. So business continuity, what upon that?
Yeah, true. Thank you. I mean, to that point, we do have that business management and continuity competency. I can bring that up, which has pieces of it. I guess what I was looking at, we were looking to expand that because some of the things we were seeing in regards to emergency preparedness and things like that into a specialization.
Karen, someone did ask, someone was having issues with the links on that resource page, but where would they find that course catalog on the website was one of the questions.
So Carrie, if you just go to the chapter section, you go chapters and host an NIGP course, you should be able to find it there. My links are working, so
mine did too. I had to hit OK a couple times, but I'm sending the PowerPoint individually to her. But I just wanted to point, somebody just did ask about that.
Okay, yeah, it can all be found on the website in the chapter section.
And if you can't find anything, don't hesitate to email Karen or I. We will certainly point you in the right direction. If you can't find what you're looking for, we will certainly help you with that as well.
Hey, this is Tanya Lawson with Gulf Coast State College. I'm the one asking about the disaster recovery. Todd, can you send the business continuity module out so I can see it, or tell me where to go find it?
I can.
I can do that.
And also, this is Teresa. I helped develop that class, so I'm quite familiar with it. So Todd, I'm sure will take care of that. But if you have any, I can always jump in too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. So Karen, will you send that out?
I will.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, this is Katrina with DFW NIGP. I have a quick question. Whenever I scheduled a class to host, and I get a lot of questions from people that are interested in it, but they're asking very specific training things like, hey, does this work toward this? Which I have no idea about. Who should I direct them to?
You can send those to me.
Okay, so you're fine with that, Karen? I have been sending them to you, but that's okay. Just keep doing that.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, if
Okay.
I don't know that I can answer every question, but I know who can.
Okay, awesome. And also, this isn't a question, just a statement. Karen sent out the survey for me to our chapter, and it was very helpful in me just figuring out what classes I needed to schedule. So that was a very useful tool, and thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do we have any other questions? We're right here at the top of the hour. I think there's a lot of good conversation and questions, but anything else here for the last minute? Okay, great. Then if not, again, we will post the PowerPoint and the recording to the chapter online resource library. It's under a section called webinars, and we will have that there for you. It'll also go out in Leaders in the Loop, and it'll be talked about at our chapter leader calls this week and next week. So there'll be various places for you to get this in and have this information and share with your members or with your board. But as always, we are all here to help support you. So if Karen, myself, Todd, or Carrie can be of any assistance to your chapters, please let us know. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.